This leadership training video focuses on the House of Delegates held once a year. Topics will include composition of the House, the 3-day schedule, student delegates and the Student House of Representatives, the duties of officers and House committees, going over proposed bylaws, resolution, and the budget, standing rules, and parliamentary procedures. The House of Delegates functions as the business meeting for the association. It is conducted similar to a congressional hearing. All CDHA elected officers attend the House of Delegates. The Speaker of the House is the presiding officer over the official House sessions. The Speaker works with the President to fill House committees needed for the meeting. A professional parliamentarian is hired to oversee parliamentary procedures and track motions made during bylaw and resolution changes. Each of CDHA's components is assigned a certain number of delegates. This number is based on the percentage of membership in the component as compared to the total CDHA membership. The delegate count is determined by the Speaker of the House in conjunction with the management company. The trustee attends as an additional voting member of his or her component and serves as the delegation chair. For example, if component A is determined to have 10 delegates, then the trustee is voting member number 11. Students attend as representatives of their program through CDHA. The association covers the cost or sponsors one student from each program. It can be a first or second year student. The same goes for each component. The component can choose to sponsor one or more students. Students may also attend on their own or seek funding through their programs club. The House of Delegates schedule begins on Friday and goes through Sunday afternoon. There are several events and activities taking place all at once, including marketplace vendors and meetings for those assigned to House of Delegate committees. There is a Board of Trustee meeting prior to the first official House session on Friday, and then again on Sunday after the close of the House. That will include newly elected trustees. For most events, all trustees, delegates, and officers must attend. Evenings consist of the President's reception and professional networking activities. The newly elected board will meet and approve any council and committee appointments made by the CDHA president for the upcoming year. Continuing education courses or mega issues are often done as a panel discussion and open to all attendees. The Student House of Representatives is where students will meet as a group to review the same items the CDHA delegates will vote on. The students will also vote on certain items. During Shore, the students will elect their own Speaker of the Shore and Secretary, who will present a report during the second session of the House of Delegates. Vendor Marketplace will include corporate sponsors, representatives, along with their products. The President's Luncheon and/or reception focuses on recognizing corporate sponsors, component members, leaders, and students. This takes place during luncheons and sometimes breakfast. Reference committee hearings take place in order to hear comments and suggestions to the proposed bylaw and policy changes. All members can attend the hearings. A report is brought to the delegates in the second House session. The Candidates Forum is where all attendees can hear speeches of those running for elected office. Balloting is scheduled to allow time for all official delegates and officers to vote for the candidates running for CDHA leadership positions. The fundraisers are shared between Cal HIPAC, the CDHA Political Action Committee, and the CDHA Foundation. Each year, one of these entities is the host. It could be a silent auction or an early morning walk. Funds raised are used to further the goals of CDHA through legislative efforts or to provide scholarships. Components will caucus and discuss the recommendations from the reference committee reports. The delegates will have opportunities to submit amendments, as the reports are presented to the House on that second session on Sunday. The CDHA and component sponsored students are the student delegates for sure. However, any attending student is welcome to participate. Duties include attending all student caucus meetings and caucus meetings of components. They can also attend all activities of the CDHA House of Delegates. Students focus on the shore meetings and the reference committee hearings. They are encouraged to present verbal testimony during reference committee hearings as well. Students are included in all House of Delegate events, including the luncheons and receptions. It will be an experience that will last a lifetime, meeting new friends and colleagues in our profession. The CDHA president works with the Speaker of the House to establish the schedule. The president will introduce very important persons, elected officers, and special guests who may be in attendance. The president also assigns members to House committees, as does the Speaker of the House. The Secretary-Treasurer will take minutes and be sure to record the official delegate count each session. There will be delegates selected to participate as the Minutes Review Committee, which also helps the Secretary-Treasurer. As the House of Delegates is presided over by the Speaker of the House, the majority of the work lies with the Speaker. Committee appointments come from the list of official delegates. The Speaker will conduct committee orientations and, of course, work closely with the parliamentarian during the official House sessions. Generally, there are 2 reference committees, and they are assigned to review all reports in the House of Delegates manual, the proposed bylaw and policy changes, along with the association budget. Once receiving all testimony from delegates during the hearing sessions, they will convene and provide a report to the second session of the House on Sunday. The Credential Committee verifies that all component delegates are correct and have received their passes to get onto the floor of the House, so that their vote is valid. No other person can sit in the delegate section without permission from the Speaker and the delegates. The Nominations Committee submits names of those interested in running for an elected position. Additionally, they assist during the candidates forum. The Minutes Review Committee will take notes during the 2 sessions of the House and submit them to the Secretary-Treasurer. The Tellers Committee is responsible to oversee the voting process for election of officers. They will also count and validate votes. Pages and timekeepers are generally students who are not already assigned as delegates from their programs. They will sit along the House floor and run messages from one delegate to another so as not to interrupt any official House session. Each year, CDHA reviews its governing documents and makes necessary changes to address efficiency in association operations. A bylaw, policy, or resolution amendment, deletion, or addition is done through the amending process. The process includes submission to the Administration Council sometime in February, who will review, then forward the bylaw and resolution changes to the Board of Trustees in March for review. Upon approval to move forward to the House of Delegates, all bylaw changes and policy changes will now enter the Delegates Manual for consideration and adoption by the delegates during the second session of the House. Standing rules for the House are necessary. The standing rules may only be amended and adopted by the House during the first session. The standing rules of the House govern the daily order of business on the House floor by making certain matters and actions privileged for consideration. For example, proposed resolutions and proposed bylaw amendments are considered for adoption by the delegates. Delegates are recognized by the Speaker when at the microphone to provide testimony and an orderly discussion of each item. Voting is done by a colored voting card. one card for each voting member of the House. The rules contained in the most recent edition of Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, shall govern the deliberations of the House. Student delegates may address any issue at the House as well and are welcome to and encouraged to provide verbal testimony. As previously mentioned, CDHA uses Robert's Rules of Order to conduct efficient meetings. Parliamentary procedure provides the process for proposing, amending, approving, and defeating motions. Although following parliamentary procedure is not required, it can make meetings more efficient. The most important are main motions, which bring specific topics or issues to the voters. Main motions cannot be made when any other motions are before the group. All motions must have a second, or they cannot be considered by the group. An amendment is used to fine-tune a motion to make it more acceptable. When someone uses the point of order, this means they are bringing to the group's attention that rules are being violated. When someone indicates parliamentary inquiry, it's not creating a new motion, but it's posing a question as to whether an action would be in order. When someone uses the term point of information, a person may rise to offer information that is considered necessary for the group. This provision is not used to offer any debate, but only to provide information. Parliamentary procedure takes time to get used to when you're a new delegate, yet it keeps meetings moving along and provides an order of discussion. Please visit the CDHA leadership video on Robert's Rules for more details. Thank you for watching this leadership training video on House of Delegates. Please visit our other leadership videos through cdha.org or our YouTube channel.